Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to this webinar together with AICA Data. I'm Stephan Spijkers, I'm co-founder of PIMvendors.com, and together we explore the world of product data and AI. PIMvendors.com is your independent resource when it comes to product information management and product data information, and we help you either with your product data challenges or, well, with your exploration of the broader product data world. Yes, we are called PIM vendors, product information management solution focused, but that world has been, well, turned upside down with the advent of AI, specifically, of course, generative AI. And now I think we're all in the next phase, even with agentic AI. What that all means and what it all means for product information management, and I would say especially in the onboarding phase, is something that we're exploring continuously and something we're going to explore together today in this special webinar. If you have any questions about any of the topics discussed today, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or to any of the speakers today as well. You'll be very easy to find them on LinkedIn. But before I fill the whole presentation with my blabbering, I would love to hand over to Isak, the CEO of AICA Data. Isak, please take it away.
Thank you, Stephan. Yes, good afternoon. Isak Marais, CEO and one of the founders of AICA Data. What I'm going to talk about really is the importance of UNSPSC and GPC classification and the integration into PIM software. That's really to unlock really data consistency, efficiency, and market reach. So this is focused at PIM suppliers. So maybe just as a quick introduction, who are we? We are a product data intelligence platform. We leverage AI and machine learning to enhance the quality and consistency of product data. We automate tasks like data cleansing, enrichment, comparison, and then helping businesses efficiently manage large volumes of data across industry, from manufacturing, retail, mining, e-commerce, a whole bunch of industries. What makes us different? We're faster, more accurate, and cost-effective. The problem that we address is the oversupply of information, because information just grows every day, and the challenges that brings to supply chain and procurement and marketing and finance. And the analogy is really digital camera against the old film camera. Just our consulting pyramid model. So we've got an AI navigator that we use initially. We then do internal data discovery on internal data of the customer, proof of value, data enrichment and cleansing, and then API integration for maintenance and further work on it. But today, and this is our whole sort of service offering, the foundations is that our algorithms were trained on specific data sets to give accuracy. That's why we narrowly focused. If you try to do the type of work that we do with a Gen AI model, you get a 30% accuracy. And with ours, you get above 80%. And above that is the different services that we offer: product data cleansing, enrichment, creation, and then comparison. But today we're going to focus on classification and agentic AI and the API side to integrate that into your existing PIM offering that you offer to your clients. So the agenda really is where are UNSPSC and GPC, why classification matters in PIM, that you can understand where the benefit comes in for you as a PIM supplier, benefits to end users of PIM, and then benefits of PIM software suppliers, and how to integrate classification into PIM. And in between, we can have a demo done by Chief Technology Officer Stiaan, and then just a quick summary. So what is UNSPSC? It's United Nations Standards Products and Services Code, and it's a hierarchical taxonomy of categorization of products and services. Now, it's widely used in procurement and spend analysis and the supply chain. And then GPC is part of GS1, Global Product Classification, and industry-driven taxonomy for standardizing product categorization. And it enables global interoperability in product data exchange. Why classification matters in PIM? It ensures consistent standardized product data, enables accurate search filtering and reporting, supports compliance with industry and buyer requirements, facilitates integration with ERP and e-commerce procurement systems, and reduces data duplication and errors. Benefits to the end user: improved product data quality, faster time to market, enhanced spend visibility, simplified supply and buyer communication, and optimized procurement and inventory. Going very fast because I think it's the logical format. Then the benefits for the PIM software suppliers, and that's really who we're doing this for. Differentiation and competitive advantage, offering a built-in classification that adds value to your current offering, your PIM offering. And then expand market reach, compliance with global standards appeals to a larger client base, reduce implementation and time and support costs, and simplify data mapping and integration. And then facilitates partnership ecosystem and integration, easier connection with your ERP and procurement platforms, and then improved customer satisfaction. That's what it's all about, really. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to hand over to Stiaan to just give you a demo to show you our system itself. So I'm going to exit out, and Stiaan.
Thanks very much, Isak. Just going to do the screen share. Go.
Yep.
So you can see that, right? Okay, can make that a little bit bigger. All right. So we are looking at a local deployment of our classification engine. We'll run through both classes, the GS1 spec and then the UNSPSC as well. Just and send the same products through both of them. So I just browsed some products off the internet. UNSPSC is more geared towards your type of MRO products. So I just got some sort of ball bearing here and got the model number. We'll come back to that in a second. And then something from the fashion world, slim fit linen suit trousers. Let's see how that goes. And then we have Schwarzkopf shampoo. I got that off the Albert Heijn site. Let's see if we punch in the Dutch how that goes. Stephan, I don't know if this is your brand. It's this one's not my brand. Anyway.
Yeah, no, but let's see.
Let's see how it goes. Anyway, all right. So we have a couple of endpoints. Can discuss in a little second now.
Maybe Stiaan, can you zoom in 2 ticks on this specific tab? Would that work? You think?
So let's see. Okay, come on.
Just.
Sorry, one more. Is that okay?
I think this works best for the recording as well.
Okay, great. Okay, great. I can even do more, Stephan, if you want, but I think this will be all right, eh?
We can even go back to the Schwarzkopf and make the same joke again.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so I'll just start from the FAST API. So what we're looking at is a local deployment of our API, and we'll discuss both endpoints, the UNSPSC and the GS1 endpoint, and we'll send the same products through the whole classification system. So UNSPSC is more geared towards your MRO type of products. That's why we choose a bit of a ball bearing here. We'll grab the model number just to explain a point a little bit later. But just this number, and we see that it is a ball bearing. From the fashion world, we have these linen trousers. And let's see how that one goes. And then from the Albert Heijn site in Dutch, we grab Schwarzkopf and shampoo and see how that goes. And yeah, Stephan, I don't know if this is the brand that you normally use.
Not today, Stiaan. No.
Today. All right. So when we come to the endpoints for both UNSPSC and GS1, we have 2 endpoints. The first is just to give you all the segments. So if you execute this one, it'll just give you the highest level back. So that means segment 1 with all the zeros is live, plant, and animal material. And you can use that later to limit your classification. So if you know your company only fits in paper materials and products, you'll only send in that code as well. and you are assured that everything will be classified under that. So we have that for UNSPSC. We also have the GS1 as well.
Stiaan, if I can just make a comment. So UNSPSC has got 168,000 lines, and it's better and it saves time if you focus on the areas and categories that your company is focused on, or your client's company is focused on.
Absolutely, Isak, absolutely. Okay, so there we have the same for that. So let's just quickly run these through our classification engine. A note, we just took our part number. Remember, we got that off Granger, just the part number, and that's what we're going to feed it. Took the description for the trousers, and we took the Dutch for the shampoo. And now we'll execute. So while this executes, what happens in the background is an agent is using several tools. It has several tools to its disposal to gather and classify according to the correct standard. So yeah, it'll search the web if it's necessary. Yeah, a whole lot of processing that happens in the background, and there we go. All right, so that's done now. So let's see how the results look. Okay, so for this one, even though we didn't give it its name or description, just that part number, because we have the web search tool activated in our agent, it actually got it. It got that this is a ball bearing we're talking about, and it's quite confident in that. So that's the other thing about the model. It gives you a score back in how confident it is in that this classification is doing very well. And we'll get to a bad classification now in a second, just for illustration purposes. The trousers, it got men's slacks or trousers, got that there. And then the shampoo, it actually got the shampoos as well. So there's a UNSPC for shampoos, and there we go, 100%. Okay, so let's run the exact same through GCP. Just a quick note, a reminder, we did not activate the web search tool for GCP. So we expect this classification to come back with a very low score. Let's see what happens. Okay. Again, this tool does also have, or this agent also has several tools to its disposal to make its decisions. Doesn't hallucinate. It always brings back something from the actual standard. Search activation on this one. Okay, so how do the results look? Oh yes, we can see the score is 10. That's a horrible score. So whatever it classified it as that unidentified, you will know that a score of 10 is not something that you can continue with. And like I said, the reason for that is that web search tool is not available, and it just put it under the best unidentified product it could put. Okay, so let's see how it did for the rest. The linen suit trousers, it actually has quite a specific category for trousers made of linen, and it got that. Schwarzkopf shampoo for men, and also a more granular categorization for shampoo. It's not just a general shampoo, it's also the gender is targeted for male. With a high score there and a high score there. Yeah, so that's the demo for the day.
Thank you, Stiaan. Maybe then, just as a conclusion, I'm not going to go back to the slide presentation, but as a conclusion, advantage of this offering or solution is, a manual cataloger can do 15,500 items per year. Here we are limited based on the number of servers that we fire up, which is not a limitation for us. The process is much faster, it's much more accurate, and it is important, if you want to do any spend analytics or predictive analytics, that proper classification can be done, and that happens within the PIM system. It provides the results back into the PIM, and you can select or your customer can select what they want to do with it. That in short. And just a last note, if there is another classification class that you have, then we can incorporate that into the system as well. Just note that I think E-class, you need a separate license So we can't classify according to the E-class if you are not registered, because otherwise it would break the rules of E-class by using their system for classification. But actually, any taxonomy we can put into our system and provide the feedback back into your PIM system.
I love that. Yeah. Thanks so much, Isak. Thanks, Stiaan, for sharing that. And I think this showcases the power of AI, especially agentic AI, and the benefit of having the web search. And I'm surprised by the high confidence score, but also the fact that it does everything right that we have seen going wrong with just a normal ChatGPT request, right? If you just would put this into a normal API request, it would fail on most of these cases or get to very low accuracy scores. So I think this is way ahead of the curve when it comes to the technology and the results as well, which is why I think I've invited you to showcase this. One thing I want to mention as well is that what we see in practice is that now solutions and software ISVs, so independent software vendors, agencies are exploring AI and AI tools. And many are still stuck in that, exploration phase where they say like, oh, we can do this ourselves, or we can just build an API request to Claude or to DeepSeek or to ChatGPT and say, hey, let's just run the whole database of our customer, or let's just connect our tool to one of these APIs and connect it to the onboarding of the product data, and you're there, right? You can classify all your products using this standard. Maybe give it some local context, give it the whole database of I'm not sure how many classifications there were, but give it that whole context and you're done, right? And I think many are still in that phase and are not yet appreciating the fact that this is a dedicated feature and a dedicated skill set, and something you don't want to build as a solution provider or as an agency. It is something you can spend many hours on getting this right, but it's here. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephan.
Having said that, though, if they want to reach out to you, try one of these classifications or have a customer do a proof of concept with AICA Data, how would that work for them?
They can just go on the website and request a demo. We've got a form where you basically just put your information in, your LinkedIn profile, and we come back to you and facilitate the process. Very easy and seamless.
I'm confident that people can find you either on LinkedIn or on the website. Thanks so much, Stiaan. Thanks so much, Isak. And
thanks very much.
Speak soon.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Now stick around, please. As we're still recording, I'm not going to stop recording either. Just as a heads up, Stiaan, please stay in the session for quite a long while because you're still at 33% uploaded. What I would like to do is do some Q&A, and we can use that for shorts if you still have time. We have, I think, 25 minutes officially. I can just sort of get some questions in, and you can answer them, any of you. Are there any specific things you would like to highlight? For me, that would be focused on specifically this, right? So the fact that, two things actually. So the quick revolution, right? And the fact that the things we have seen today were not possible 3 months ago or 6 months ago. For me, that will be one.
I think, Stephan, maybe what you can focus on is the costing being much more efficient, manual against automated, but then also the advancements in agentic AI. That part, I think Stiaan should handle. And the other thing is, a lot of companies do not want to necessarily buy separate software. They want to use the existing software, but they want more functionality. And this is just additional functionality that comes in, if that makes sense. So without buying separate software, it's now fully integrated.
It's integrated, yeah. Okay, let's just go through those questions. We'll get there. So what I find surprising is the speed of development of AI, and specifically agentic AI and all the different features. And I think it's impossible to keep up unless you're 100% committed to developing a tool or solution in this space. The thing that we have seen today, or the things that you can show in the demo or in a quick proof of concept to customers, that was not possible, well, maybe even 6 months ago. How do you see that, Stiaan? How do you see that development and that speed?
Yeah, so one thing that's always interesting in the AI space is how everything gets cheaper, faster, and better. So normally you could only have two of the three, but in this space, everything's cheaper, faster, better. So the underlying, not just the decision making for each tool, but the underlying mechanism to control the tools gets better and better and better and better. So to have that functionality inside your agents just makes them much more clever. And obviously the availability of tools, like we had a look at the web search tool today, what can be done with the scraping and all the rest, that just gets better, quicker, and faster.
I just want to maybe come in there as well. So obviously the technology goes extremely fast, but you can get caught up in the technology if you're not focused. And what we try to do at AICA is not use third-party technology to build our solution, because a third party or second party would be not focused enough. It's the same as, using you don't need all the functionality of Microsoft Word. If you're a specialist, you need certain elements, and we focus on those certain elements. Otherwise, the cost will be prohibitive for the market itself, if that makes sense.
Regarding costs, maybe, what I see still in the market is that they're moving from sort of doing this in-house to nearshoring it or offshoring it, right? Having human catalogers or human classify people teams, classification teams. Okay. Regarding those costs, what I see in practice is that still many customers and are still in the nearshoring or offshoring phase, where they're trying to get to a cheaper version of the person doing this in-house, doing the classification in-house. They're now doing that in, well, somewhere where wages are a bit lower than in their own business. But this is off the chart. I mean, can you give an indication of how that compares?
Yeah. So maybe just to pull a bit of a comparison, the traditional way all the years were to have catalogers. So if you take in Europe and in the US, a cataloger will cost you around about $2 to $3 per item classified. And as I said earlier, they can do about 15,500 items, 21 working days, and they take leave and all those type of things. So you're quite limited. But the challenge came also that the volumes of data being created, or product data and attributes and all those type of things, are just getting more every day. So you would need thousands more people. So what happened after that, already quite a few years ago, was offshoring into India or into other countries where you would get more cost-effective labor, but a highly skilled labor force. And, that cost went down, I would say, to about $60, $70 and then on very large volumes to around about $15. The challenge was you need a massive workforce to be able, if you've got 1 million items to do, it's going to take a long time, and you need an army of people to do it. With this technology, the high price is sort of the $10 or 10 euro cent per item on low volumes. And on high volumes, it can go down to as low as $4 or 4 euro cents. There's just no comparison in the costing. So it's not only the cost, but it's the time and it's the accuracy. But I must tell you, we do on large projects, we've got a human in the loop, because there is always a small portion of items that needs that subject matter expertise to have a higher level of confidence. So with AI, we can do the heavy lifting, but you are going to need some humans in the loop.
Also, Stephan, from a technical point of view, when we vetted what the model does against what human classification do, we would see that the AI gets those nuances, right? So if we say take 100 items, human would put it into, say, 50 categories. The AI would put it into 75 because the human saw, okay, there's a category for trousers. So yes, this is trousers. Yes, this is trousers. But the AI knows, okay, wait, there is a category, subcategory for linen trousers. So instead of just snapping to what you've already seen up above, every single item gets merited on its or classified in its own merit according to that specific nuance and put into that class.
Yeah.
Does that make
So the
sense?
classification is much more fine-grained with the AI
Yes.
tooling.
Fine-grained, that's the term. You're right. Yes.
Regarding the speed as well, right? I think Isak mentioned this real quickly in his previous answer. It takes an army of people, but it takes an army of people lots of time. And that time is money, but time is also like throughput time. How many products does the tool classify within a day or a week? Or if you have that million SKUs, how much time would it take to classify those?
So I think maybe the easiest way to answer it, remember this is agentic AI, so it's not just one process, it's multiple processes that it goes through, not only classifying, but checking the quality and doing some other verifications. So let's say a rule of thumb, it's about 1 minute per item. Now, if you take a million items, you're going to say, oh, this is an incredibly long time. It's going to take me too long to classify a million items. But all we do is we fire up more servers. And it doesn't
Yeah.
increase the cost. The cost is the cost. But it's much easier in a server farm to then fire up 200 or 300 servers for 48 hours to do the job. So
this can
that's where,
perfectly scale horizontally.
yeah, scale all it. Thanks, Stiaan.
What would you say to the people that see this, see a demo and think, oh, I can build this at home using my own homegrown llama model or with a quick API call to ChatGPT?
So, yeah, that's a very interesting thing, and we find that quite often. It took our team, Stiaan and myself as well. First of all, there's the subject matter expertise, understanding product data. That's the one element. But then a deeper element is not a general knowledge of AI, but an in-depth knowledge of the problem that we're solving. It took us more than 4 years to build the product to the level that it is now. And it doesn't stop because there's new iterations that come in. I said earlier on that with Gen AI, you can get to about 30%. If you've got 50 or 60 items, I do suggest do it with Gen AI because then it's quite quick to go through and say, okay, this is not a linen trousers, this is a cotton trouser. I think humanly that's possible, so we must keep that in mind. If you've got a very low level of items that you want classified, manual would work. But once it goes into the thousands, and remember, data doesn't stay clean. You might solve your problem in the short term, but when you create more products, and if they're not classified, within 6 months, you've got a genuine problem again. And I think that's where the API comes in, where you can then buy credits. There's the big clean, but then the maintenance happens in the background the whole time. And that's really where the time is saved and the cost is saved by not starting from zero. Because if you start an internal project every 6 months, there's the learning curve. It's just processes you go over and over.
What I would like to explore is how you saw the accuracy jump from using just your own trained models and fine-tuned models to using agentic AI to using the web search. Do you have any indication of what the impact was on accuracy or confidence levels?
Stiaan?
Yeah, so we did measure that
Just
first
give me a
step
rough
between
indication.
just
I'm going to ask the
using.
question again. You can just give me rough estimates. It's
Yeah, so we don't have we have actual figures for from the normal. We can do it in the answer just now, but we
yeah.
have figures from just using like a stock standard model to a fine-tuned one. That's about 30 to 75%. beyond that, we don't have actual perfect numbers. I think we should actually rip out our old evaluation sets, and we
Because
haven't
I think
tested our
initially when
website.
we ran it before the fine tuning, we got to an accuracy level of, and that's with trained data. I think it was about 72%, and then we fine tuned it and did a lot of, which took a lot of machine time. I think it was a 5-day process. What was it? 8 GPUs for 5 days. That becomes quite a thing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
something
to
like
do
that.
that, and then we got to just above 80%. But since then, it has improved. I
Yeah.
think as the models, but also as we integrate different other processes into the system as well to get those accuracy levels.
I'm going to ask the question again, and then you can give this answer, Isak, because the reason I'm such a stickler for this is because I think agentic AI and AI and
Yeah.
step change is sort of keywords for the algorithm. And I want to capture a nice, clean answer. So you can. So I would be interested in how
I'll take it from 30%, 72, 73. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm interested in how the model and the accuracy change from just the baseline model to the fine-tuned model to now using agentic AI and even all the additional processes on top.
Okay. So if you look at the baseline using Gen AI, your accuracy level is 30%. What we've done, we've trained on specific data sets, and that took our accuracy level of the AI algorithm to about 72, 73%. And then we fine tuned the model, and that's now sort of standard AI, and it took it to 79 to 80%. But since then, we started employing agentic AI, and the agentic AI incorporated additional processes where it now goes, I would say, closer to the 90%. But again, it does give you a reliability score because the input of the data is the important thing and determines the quality of the output. So moving from 30 to above 90%, that is what AI and agentic AI does. But the agentic AI brought in that finer tuning and the finer results in the efforts itself.
My final question is going to be, well, what I'm curious about is how you customers are looking towards sending all your data to ChatGPT or using an internal model. And hold on. What I'm curious about is what customers think about using ChatGPT and sending all their data to ChatGPT versus using your internal model. How do they see this?
I think it's quite important because, first of all, if you send it to ChatGPT, it goes into the open web. We've got a closed environment that we operate in, and we do not use customers' data to train our models. And the reason why we don't do that, customers' data can be and would be dirty, and that would degrade or take the performance of our models down. So I think from a safety and security side, ours is a closed environment. But also don't use customer data to train our algorithms.
Anything you would like to highlight or a short you would like to create using a quick Q&A?